right. Well, Chester, we're 50 minutes into this thing and we haven't even started to talk about projects. You want to talk about a project?
Sure.
Let me. The first project that we're going to talk about is the ORU Student Center. And while I'm getting my screen share stuff up, I unfortunately I don't know that I'll be able. I'm going to try to screen share with you. I don't know that it'll work. But you're unfortunately going to have to look at you and my screen at the same time if I do that. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, they can't. You can. But while I'm going here, two questions. First, is it okay if I show this video? Do you want to start with this video and then we can kind of go through the process?
Sure.
What do you think?
That's fantastic.
So if you could talk about the project just a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my screen set up in terms of being able to show this properly, and
Okay.
and then you just talk about this ORU Student Center real quick.
Okay. This was a project where David Short of KSQ, that's when we were at KSQ together, came up to me one at the end of the week and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but to bring this on to you so late, but we might have a project here if you're interested in doing it." And it was a new student center on the campus of ORU. And I said, yes, would. And the reason is that I thought that it would be an extremely exciting project, and it was. And the ORU campus, as we'll see, is a very unusual campus. It's like no other campus in the nation. It's like a campus that was designed for the Jetsons. It was by Oral Roberts, and the huge TV evangelist, and he had the idea of building a modern and in the future university for Christians. And so what we're going to see here shortly is the finished product being debuted by the students. And a local brilliant marketing guy named Stuart McDaniels of Guru Stew did this presentation. And we worked in collaboration on that, and it was phenomenal. But what I want you to see in the end, not only the fun, but the student comments. And that's what you live for. The users' comments. How do they feel? How does what you've done do something for them? And that's what you're going to see here in this.
So, I'm probably, just for the sake of not knowing if there's copyrighted music in the video, I'm probably not going to play the audio, but I think this video is on YouTube somewhere.
It's not, yeah, it's all right. It's not copyrighted. That way you can get to hear it, and it's all public.
Let's see.
That show's so legit. I was so proud. It's so cool. You know, we're maybe a Christian college, but we're more than able to show the world that we have something unique, and that we're smart, and that we can engineer new things.
All right. So, that being said, I'm going to stop the video there. So let's talk about how this design came about. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with some site photos or some sketches?
Yeah,
let's
do that.
How do you want to do this?
The site map, because that's kind of where you start.
So the site is. You want to do the site map?
Yeah.
Okay.
Site map.
Where can I find that one? Is that?
That's like near the end of that series there.
Is it in this series?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see here. So I've got South Site. I think these are all photos. This is the Axis Photos
Yeah,
folder.
there's in that group there's a Google shot.
Oh, this one right here.
There it is. There it is. Okay. This is the blue circle in your lower left there with the kind of star-shaped design around it.
Yep.
That's the prayer tower. And there's a sunken garden that surrounds the prayer tower.
Yep.
You actually go down steps into this garden area. To the west, that's the left of the tower, is the chapel. So you have the chapel, then you have the prayer tower. Then to the immediate east of this site, on that axis, you have this bare piece of ground. That's where they wanted the building, and it was a great position for it. And then immediately to the east of that is the pond. And can't remember the name of that pond, but it's going to come up here. And to the north, you're going to see some high-rise buildings up to circular ones. Those are 8 and 12-story res halls. The triangular propeller-shaped one is a 7-story res hall. And the one immediately south, the angular spaceship, they call it, on the south there, that's a diamond, really. You're only seeing half of it.
Yep.
Is probably 80% of the academic studies are in that building. So the original planners had this vision of a garden campus with high-rise pieces, mid-rise pieces in it. And it gave a lot of land, it kept a lot of land open, and it was brilliant. But you had this access between the chapel. Remember, this is Christian college. So you got the chapel, you got prayer, you got student services, and you got nature. And so the idea was, well, let's accentuate this axis, stay on axis. And you've got the worship, you have the prayer, you have student life, and you have nature. Keep them in line. From the prayer tower, the building would not interrupt the view of the fountain and nature, and the building would open up to the sky, to the prayer tower. You could be up in the prayer tower and look down into the student union. You could see each other. And so there was this openness, this idea of transparency in the design that we wanted to do.
And I think I have the site studies PDF. I can actually bring that up. Let's take a look at that. How you're talking about looking down into.
That would be terrific.
Let's see if I can get this pulled up
The
here.
sketches, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
These guys right here.
This is what won us the job.
And I saw that folder name, and so I should probably address the fact you and I worked on this project together. This was my first project working with you, and at the time I didn't even work for the company that was doing the job. I was on loan from another company. And so my first introduction to Chester was, I've got this, and I'm a Revit person, he comes up and he says, I've got this SketchUp model. And immediately I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. One of these guys. And you're like, the roof is double sloped. I was like, okay. And essentially we were having trouble getting that design to translate into a model. So that was how I was introduced to this project. How I was introduced to Chester was through this project, actually. And can I just say that I've worked on 2 once-in-a-lifetime projects, and this is one of them, in my opinion. I think that not many architects get to work on projects of this caliber, or of this excitement level. There was a lot of hype around this project, and we'll come back to why there was so much hype later on. But so this is essentially what you were talking about right here. So this is the axis that you're talking about in section. So you've got your
Yep.
chapel on the left side here. Here's the fountain, Lake Evelyn, with the fountain,
Yep.
and so this is what you're talking about, being up in the prayer tower, which has the ever burning gaslight up here,
Mm-hmm.
which does
The
stay
flame, the
on in the
eternal
middle
flame.
of it does stay on in the middle of tornadoes. We did find that out.
Yep.
Um, but you can look down into this. So talk a little bit about this sketch and why this sketch is in a PDF that resides in a folder called "What Won Us the Project."
This remember, there's like a tremendously short period of time, and there were some questions I think earlier that alluded to this issue. Is if you have a great foundation in problem solving, it will come to serve you, and sometimes when you need it the most, when you have no time and something you have a great opportunity. So went out to the site, and all that teaching, all that mentorship comes to you instantly. And you go, okay, what does the site say? We went up into the prayer tower and looked over it, down on the site. And it came to me that, this building should not be an interruption. And it should be something that respects the site and respects the values that the campus believes in and offers us their students. And so that was the reason for the shape of the roof. And the walls canted out at 7 degrees. Remember that, Carl?
Oh yeah,
And,
oh yeah.
and on this shot right in here, the left side, which was the northwest side, is the tallest, and the south west was the shortest height. So it went from corner to corner, and the roof slope did monolithically, and then you had all the walls that canted it, and so it presented a great challenge. And here this guy comes to our office, and his name is Carl, and I would not know that he was a gift from above, man. And that we would end up doing this together and having an incredible time and becoming incredible friends. But the thing that won was that when the chancellor at that time, Dr. Rutland, was presented with this, that section made all the difference. He saw how that student life, something that Oral Roberts himself was very concerned about, would be respectful to the religious values that they had, and that they'd be all tied together. And he saw the line, he saw how the things, the relationships, and fell in love with that. It was instant buy-in. And the second part of it was the views that Carl was showing you of it, the amount of glass in it, the transparency. And that had become an issue on the campus.
Why, Chester? Why is that a challenge on this campus?
Well,
how do you explain
notorious?
How do you explain pre-Arm & Hammer Student Center buildings on ORU's campus?
Yeah, but they had run into severe financial difficulty, and it had happened in the dark, and so the idea was be transparent, and that really literally changed the campus. Dr. Rutland's work there was phenomenal, and he was an incredible client. You could not have asked for a better client. It's a dream client. And let's see.
It's a lot of glass. It really is.
Yeah, there were three requirements that Dr. Rutland gave us, and one caveat. And it was that the building was supposed to be designed for fun, food, and fellowship. And the caveat was no more gold glass. So, and to
And
respect the architecture on the campus.
and to
So
understand
be,
what we mean by no more gold glass, just go to Google Maps, look up ORU, Oral Roberts University, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and do a street maps view of whatever you can around the campus, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Every building looks like it's from the Jetsons, and every building, with the exception of the Student Center, is glazed with gold reflective glass. From the outside of the buildings, you cannot see inside. It's as you're driving by, it's just a gold reflection of everything that's outside, back at you. So it was this was this was a breakthrough project for ORU.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was the first one that they'd had in about 30 years. So I mean, it was pretty phenomenal. It was done on time and in budget.
Yep.
Which was pretty awesome. By the way, Carl, they just changed the glass in the chapel to blue.
Ooh,
so
I'll have to go by and see that.
Their blue is now in.
Yeah. So, I'll have
to
go.
I have to give David credit for that. The only thing after he saw my sketches, he came to my table. He goes, He goes like this. And then he goes, make the glass a little bluer, would you? So that's good. Make the glass a little bluer. So we have to give credit where credit is due. And David, that was his a gift to the project.
Nice. So let's see. We've got a couple of photos of the finished building. You wanna go through those?
Yeah.
Let's pull those up real quick. And I'm just gonna kind of scroll through these. So here we go. And I believe these were taken by our friend Melissa, weren't they? Were these taken by Melissa?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Melissa Lukenbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a great photographer. That first picture right there this one here is facing the prayer tower. It's the front of the building facing the prayer tower. And the projections on that left-hand side there are areas of rooms on the inside that project outward, cantilever. And looking north toward all the student res hall and student dining. And that lower floor looks out toward the garden, the sunken garden of the prayer tower. Prayer tower. And the outside of the building is clad in white porcelain tile, which was really nice. Front desk when you enter, and the interior design team, which was Shannon Meyer, and man, I've just forgotten her name. Man, that's bad. Gonna have to help me on that one. The two of them did a spectacular job. Everybody raves about it. Just everybody.
I just realized that I'm muted. So it's Jenna, right?
Jen. Yeah. That's right.
Yep. So let's talk about this TV. Is it still the largest high-definition TV in Oklahoma?
I don't know.
Because at the time it was.
Yeah.
But this was a really interesting part of the design because can you talk a little bit about how this came up and why this became such a large part of the project here?
Well, it was part of the design programming meetings with Dr. Rutland, and he wanted an area that where people could study and hang out together and On the outside, you see this L-shaped table, which was like a bar, and with plugins the whole length of it, so you could plug in your devices and hang out. And you could also have something from the snacks and the area behind you to eat there as well. And then down below that, into the in that area, are these modular furniture that you just kind of crawl up into and on and all over the place. And you got these lounge areas, lounge chairs that you can hang out. And it was for watching sports, playing games, listening to maybe some important talks or lectures. And you could see it from the whole area behind you. For over half of the facility downstairs, you can see this area. And it's kind of the part of the central core of the building.
Yeah, this is a major part of the project. You can see it from everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's a whole ton left in this building. Is there
This
anything
is looking into it? Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to? So this is from the study room, which is
the living room. They call
which
it
is
the living room.
yeah, it's not quite sound isolated, but it is definitely a drop in decibel volume from this room to just on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to look at?
That area. You can see
right here.
into that screened area all the way to the outside.
Yep.
The Lake Evelyn.
Yep. Is there anything else that you wanted to look at in this project before we moved on?
No, I was profoundly. I can't say enough about the client, because the ability to do great architecture, the opportunity to do great architecture, and to do your dreams and to get tested, to do what you may have never done before, is because of your client. It's not because of you that can do it. There's many things you'll be able to do that you'll maybe never get to do. But it's finding the client, and a client that believes in you, and there's a development of trust and excitement that they are kind of in their own way saying, show me what you've got, help us. And so Dr. Rutland, can't ever thank you enough.